about to do it. Watch us get into it. We some lumberjacks, and we needin' wood. Yeah, we going for the sweet, and we mop it up. We put it all on the block, and then we chop it up, 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 chop it up. We put it all on the block, and then we chop it up.
The Chop and Block podcast is finally back. I don't know what day it is because I've worked so many days straight, but I do know that the Chop and Block podcast is live, and that's all that matters. And, you know, I think usually we would have a college football show to you already this week, but today is going to be the NFL show hosted by B.C. Kane himself. And what a weekend it was. And honestly, guys, we've got, 3 weeks left? A lot of stuff can go down in these last 3 weeks. There's going to be some teams miss out on the playoffs. There's going to be some teams that make the playoffs that are unexpected. We're going to talk about all that tonight. B.C. Kane, take it away.
As the slide says, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays to everybody out there. This is going to be our last show before Christmas, so we wanted to show a little festivities before we get into these war rooms and talk a little football. So Merry Christmas from the Chopping Block. Let's slide right in. Guys, look at that. The Grinch is now coaching the Denver Broncos. And listen, I just want to read just a little bit what's going on in Denver Broncos from the quarterback standpoint, right? $245 million contract, most of that guaranteed. Super Bowl winner, future Hall of Famer. This year, 66.3 completion rating, 2,832 yards, 24 TDs, 8 interceptions, 97.5 rating. Guys, is Sean Payton the Grinch that stole Christmas? Does Russ deserve more respect for Christmas? Digo, let me know.
Well, you know, to be honest with you, I think one thing we're all forgetting is this is a brand new relationship. We haven't, had much experience with each other, if you know what I mean. So I think we just need to pump the brakes a little bit. To see the major turnaround the Broncos have made, that's already a Christmas miracle. The Grinch has been there. He's been in Whoville, for a while. And that somehow they're playing nicely together right now, the Grinch and the Denver Broncos. But last weekend was a disappointment. They've got a big one this weekend. Believe it or not, I picked them to win this game. We'll talk about it later. But that's what I got to say so far.
Okay. Well, you're right. It is a new relationship. But here's the thing about relationships, and I think you guys might agree on this. We don't treat the lady from the street like we do the queens. Okay? we gotta have a little bit of little something extra reserved for when they are doing things the right way consistently. We can't treat them like the thoughts, right? So tell me, is it a Grinch in the building or not?
Well, I'll say this, and this might ruffle some feathers. Sean Payton is the Grinch that stole one team's Christmas, the Los Angeles Chargers. And here's why. Last year, the Jaguars came back and beat the Chargers in the playoffs. A bunch of people, most of us would agree, I would have fired Brandon Staley after that game, and Sean Payton was available.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for them to see that, they've got to be kicking themselves when you've got a young stallion quarterback in Justin Herbert who was made for Sean Payton. Now, with that being said, that's the only team whose Christmas he's stolen. I have to backtrack on saying earlier in the year he hasn't made a difference, because he absolutely has. He's completely turned the team around since I said that, made me look like a fool. I've had to eat crow. Fair enough. Sean Payton's a really good coach, and he's done a great job. And Russell Wilson, Does he deserve more respect? I've got to say yes. And when we look at Russell Wilson's career, I mean, statistically, he's only had one bad season, which was last season with a hack of a coach, no pun intended, Nathaniel Hackett. So that's the only bad season Russ has had. So, yeah, Russ definitely deserves more respect. And Sean Payton has only been the Grinch for the Chargers.
Okay. Coach, now, you guys, have you guys seen the argument that ensued? Not argument, but the chewing out of that Sean Payton did to Russell Wilson on the sideline during that game. That's what this slide is mostly about, right? So this is what I'm talking about in this. Was he acting like a Grinch and disrespected Russ? Now, I love the way y'all have taken this because I can't believe Havoc is finally on the train, on the Denver Broncos train.
Choo-choo.
I'm pretty sure you got your engineer, Coach Price, right behind you. But I just want to hear your guys some feedback on what happened during that. To me, came across as total disrespect.
Well, I can agree, and that's a little bit where I was headed at when you had the finger sitting in Russ's face like that. And that's why I'm like, yeah, he was the Grinch for sure. But the real winner in it was the unsung hero that nobody thinks about in the Grinch. We could sit and we could talk about the Grinch. We could talk about Cindy Lou, the Mayor of Whoville, all of them. But nobody talks about the little dog that the Grinch strapped in front of the sleigh with a tree branch for antler. Did y'all see how hard the dog worked to get the sleigh up the hill just so that they could get over the hump?
Yeah.
He was in the air with it. So that means not only was the dog doing everything he could to get the Grinch off the ground, he was actually running in the air. And that's exactly what Russell Wilson's response is to all of it. You can sit and you can shame me. You can carve a tree branch on the side of my head, stick a little red dot on my nose and call me Rudolph. But the bottom line is Russell Wilson has went and proved everybody who doubted him wrong.
Yeah.
What Sean Payton is doing is putting in the same type program that he put in when he was with Drew Brees, because when him and Drew Brees, when they first started, it wasn't a breeze.
Yeah.
But what it turned into was something that was dangerous. And it took years for them to get that, where it's taken Sean Payton and Russell Wilson half of a season to get that. So you need to really be worried about the Denver Broncos, as much as I hate to say it, because, you know, I did park that truck in Denver a lot. But, you know, I ain't got no snow tires, so I'm not coming that way. But, you know, to me, like I said, man, Russell Wilson, he's the little dog in this whole picture to me. He's the little unsung hero. The Grinch strapped the whip on him, and he went to work.
And you know what, man? I just I think that when they say nice guy finish last, is this not the quintessential example of that? I mean, if one of our bosses talked to us like this guy did to Russell Wilson on that sideline, and you were who Russell Wilson is in the league, not what people want you to believe, man, we might leave. We might walk out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying it's, you know, so, but he stood there and he took it right square on the nose, man. I don't know if I can do that. What about you, drunk Skip Bayless?
You know, you talked about Sean Payton being the Grinch. He's not the Grinch. He's just an angry little elf. It's funny, he looks so small next to those guys. That's an average sized human being on the planet Earth. He's just standing next to NFL players. That's why I look like. But I mean, his quarterback's the same way. And coach, the Grinch's dog's name was Max.
Max. He gave it his max.
You got to put that into context too, Barry. Keep in mind that broke out when Detroit literally pulled their pants down, opened their mouth on the curb, and stomped the teeth out of their head. I mean, that was a pretty good. That was 42-17, if I remember correctly.
No, this was just last week against.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Detroit game when he had his other little angry elephant.
No, this just happened this past week. Yeah,
I mean, I guess of all the quarterbacks in the NFL to yell at, Russell Wilson would be the one. I don't know if I don't know if I'd yell at Tom Brady that way.
Exactly.
You might get kicked in the ding ding.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even go to Drew Brees like that.
No.
Not only would he. Okay, this is what I heard one person say. They never saw an exchange like this between Drew Brees and Sean Payton ever. And look how long he coached Brady. Brees.
Best case scenario, it was just in bad taste and a bad moment and tempers flared. Worst case scenario, it's a systemic issue. But you say it works out better for Russell because of all the quarterbacks. I mean, I think you got to have an ego to play in the NFL. Period. Well, you definitely got to have ego to play a quarterback in the NFL because you got to forget what you did immediately and go back out and execute.
Not only that, if you've been an analyst for a year, then you've seen everybody. So you should be able to come back and be successful with something.
You got to have thick skin, man. The quarterback loses the game, and then when the game is won, it's everybody else that won.
Right.
So of all the positions on the team, I mean, he's more equipped to take it, I guess. Was it in poor taste? Probably. That should have happened in the locker room.
Yeah.
You don't do that on national TV, man. I don't give it. Not to Russell Wood. If it's a rookie, maybe you undress him on the sideline, but you can't do that to a Hall of Famer. Come on, man.
That's my point. And here's the thing, guys. You paying me over $200 million guaranteed. You can't take it away. It's my money. So what can you do? I can go out and sabotage this whole team. I'm at the end of my career pretty much. And guess what? I go home to Sierra. Are you kidding me? To me, I don't know what was happening here. It almost seemed like he was blaming Russell for something, and like he was deflecting. It's like, dude, how are you going to do this to your franchise QB? And I like what you just said, Craig. If this had been Aaron Rodgers, Russell, Jackson in Baltimore. If this had been any of them big boys like that, they would have put the foot in him and told him where he could stick to.
Yep.
Hey, wouldn't you love to see that conversation happen between him and somebody like Jim Kelly or Dan Marino?
Oh man.
He would have walked out needing some dental work. How that would work?
I don't think Josh Allen would go for it.
No.
Hey, let me explain this situation really quickly. Let me tell you what Russell Wilson is. I don't know if you've seen the little podcast, Marshawn Lynch. They said that when he threw that interception in that Super Bowl, he's walking off to the sidelines, and he said, "My bad, guys. I'll get them next time." After throwing the game-winning interception in the Super Bowl. And they said Marshawn Lynch walked off the field at that moment. He didn't even stay for the last snap. And I think that's what Russell Wilson is. He's a pushover. He's that guy, Coach Price. I hope I wasn't this kid, but that kid where he's pretty good, right? But he goes out there and drills and just screws up nonstop. And you're like, get out of here, son. Go on the sideline. That's the one. I mean, Russell Wilson is that one where he can be so good, and then he goes out and has a practice or a game, and you're like, oh, my God, does this guy ever played football before? But, yeah, he deserves more respect. I agree.
Now, to answer that, what you said, Dalton, those were the days where David said when he gets you home after practice, he gonna kill you. So,
Yeah.
so you already know. As soon as you said, "I hope," and I wasn't that kid, you already knew. Sometimes I was that kid.
The
You
car
know,
ride, I think home was the worst.
what happens with this, especially because we can analyze it over and over and over and over and over and be armchair quarterbacks like everybody else. Here's the fact of the matter. Here's some stats for y'all. 32 teams, 53-man roster. There's 1,696 players that play NFL football on the planet Earth. Out of a population of I don't know how many billion there are now. Only 32 of them are quarterback, and only probably a handful of them are any good to even be the same conversation as Russell Wilson.
Exactly.
Of 10 human beings on the planet of Earth that can do that, he's one of them. That deserves a little more respect than that.
And you know what, man? I think the guy is a phenomenal guy. I think that how do we get back to there? Also, man, that whole I do believe what you said, Dalton, that he is a pushover. He's not a pushover, but he is perverting humility. At some point, you got to show a pulse, and you got to say, "You're not going to talk to me like that." I feel like Tom Brady or Tom Brady or Peyton Manning would not have allowed that play to be called on the sideline to throw an interception in a Super Bowl. They would have told the coach, "No, I'm turning around and handing it to the baddest man in the NFL." And that's something I think that's his fault. Sometimes you got to be, they paying you that much money. Even sometimes you got to go against the coach. Sometimes you just gotta do it. Like if I know something at my job is going to cause a crisis, I'm going to, and my boss say, "You need to do this." I'm gonna say, "Dude, I'm not doing that because I know what's going to happen if I do that." So sometimes you do gotta have some chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Yeah, he's a Christian. He's a Christian, Barry. I've heard him say God family football a bunch.
Oh, he is.
He just turned the other cheek, man.
Yeah. Hey, you better not pout. I'm telling you why. Is it time for the Eagles to cry, or will they fly? Talk to me, Habit.
Well, I got to say this. It's time for the Eagles to cry. I don't see how they can beat the 49ers. We watched them play the 49ers a couple weeks ago, and they were stomped thoroughly. I mean, what's going to change from here to a month from now when it's the second round of the playoffs and they potentially play the 49ers? Have they gotten better since then? Will they have gotten better? I mean, that's the question we got to ask. I still don't think they can beat the 49ers. And until they prove to me that they can, I say yes, it's time for the Eagles to cry, and they will not fly.
Oh, man. What say you, Price?
I totally agree with Havoc on that. I mean, right now, the 49ers is the team to beat. The only other team that's in the NFC that's even necessary to really talk about is the Cowboys. The Lions is a sneaky team, but the Eagles right now, the 49ers has really got your number because what they got on defense is what's going to control the ball game. The 49ers can score, but the Eagles has a good defense. But on the other end, the 49ers has got a great defense, and the Eagles has got a pretty good defense, but not great. So to me, the only thing that will help the Eagles win a ball game against San Francisco is it's going to have to be some mistakes, special teams, and just straight up field position. No other than that, they don't have the manpower to me to go 50-50 with the 49ers. That's just the team to beat. So, I'm kind of with Havoc on it. I think it's time for them to go ahead and cry because it's looking golden in San Francisco right now.
Man, baby, it's cold outside. Talk to me, Drum Skip Bayless. Can you help these Eagles fly?
Now the Eagles going to help themselves. They're following 3 games. They play the Giants twice and Arizona once. So they're going to have a hell of a lot easier time coasting in the postseason. These other teams do, and let's be. I mean, the NFL postseason is kind of like the NHL. It's a whole other season all unto itself.
You're reading my mind, and I used throughout the years, if I watched the NFL, it just seems like when the playoff starts, even teams that you thought wasn't hitting on nothing, they just start playing good football.
They got too many weapons, man. I mean, that's a good team.
And this year though, I will say, this is the first year where I feel like the San Francisco 49ers are the team. They had the Super Bowl when the season started.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of feels that way. And I picked them. I picked San Francisco to play Miami in the Super Bowl. We may get that, and I know we won't hear the last of it if they actually win that thing. Speaking of Miami, but you know what though, I think I would like to see that game, but I really don't think there's nobody unless the Chiefs starts like doing something. I tend to agree with you guys. It's just going to be hard to beat the 49ers. What say you, Digo?
Well, I'm actually looking at the standings right now, and there is just some, crazy stuff that could happen in this NFC. Believe it or not, the New York Giants somehow are not eliminated from playoff contention. Who knows? Tommy Cutlets. Tommy Cutlets might, do something magical. I don't know. Wouldn't that be something? But on the Eagles, man, I don't think it's time to cry. But what it is definitely a red flag is not only did you lose to the 49ers, but don't forget you just got destroyed by the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like, unfortunately for the Eagles, the 49ers have the number 1 seed locked up. Home field advantage, got to go to California to get to the Super Bowl. That is not a easy task. I mean, I will say this. If Philly had the, home field advantage to the playoffs, it'd be straight to the Super Bowl. I mean, it's hard to come in there and win. So that, it is a little bit of panic mode maybe, but not necessarily time to cry. If they win the next 3 games, I mean, to think the Cowboys will win the next 3, I mean, maybe they still win the division, but it does look like first place is gone.
Yeah. And you know what? It sounds like it's all up in the air if Santa Claus is going to come to town. Speaking of Santa Claus, will Santa Claus put the playoffs in the Bills' stocking? Coach, what's up?
Well, it's a possibility that they could put a playoff schedule in the Bills stocking, but the Bills may not be on the schedule. As much as I could sit here and say they kind of turned it around a little bit right now, I just don't see the Bills making the playoffs. Who they got in the last 3?
They got the Chargers, the Patriots, and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, Dolphins, they can chalk that one up. I don't think they'll be able to beat the Dolphins, honestly. And as far as the Patriots go, they may sneak up on them and just win one for Bill. Because he on a rocky road and out the door, so it could be one of them sentimental games because, how many times has Bill Belichick beat the Buffalo Bills? How many meaningful games did he beat the Buffalo Bills in? Okay, well, how meaningful of a game would it be? I guarantee you, Bill, if you beat the Bills, they're out of it.
So the problem is, though, Tom Brady ain't going to come out of retirement.
No, he ain't going to come out of retirement, but, like I said, this is his last rodeo. Honestly, I don't even think Bill's going to be coaching next year. I think this is it for him.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you. So, I just look at history and what he's done against the Bills and just say, sometimes history can repeat itself because, you remember when the Patriots wore the little ugly uniforms with the little guy with the football snapping it. They had a quarterback that wore a neck roll.
Yeah.
What was his name? Steve Grogan? Dude, I remember when the Patriots was that bad. And right now, they're that bad. So when you talk about the Patriots, I look at the things that Bill Belichick has accomplished while he was in New England. But dude, I remember when New England was that bad as a kid. So, but the thing about it was, even though they were that bad, you always look on Sunday highlights where the New England Patriots has upset somebody and they did not make the playoffs. They were spoilers back then, and then Bill came through and made them winners. But they were spoilers back then. And if you don't believe me, ask the Miami Dolphins and Dan Marino how many times did that New England Patriots game spoil y'all season? Period.
You know what? The only thing that's gonna spoil this year from the Patriots is gonna be a glass of milk.
Old
Because I'm gonna tell you right now. But you know what? I was trying to look it up last week. I forget who the Patriots played, but it seemed like for a little bit it was a game. Am I mistaken? It was the Chiefs. Yeah, it's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
27-17. And they actually did play with a little
and Dolphins.
Yeah, and they played with a little funk. But let me say this right here, though, man. You remember we did a slide on this show earlier in the year. We said, which team is in desperate need of a tank? And they had that big old tank on it. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it time? Is it time for the New England just to lock it on down? Okay. You don't want to be started to get out, win, and then pull away from them quarterbacks, right? In the draft. You gotta be thinking about that, guys. Because these last few games, whether you win them or not, it does not even matter.
And all you gotta do is be a spoiler for one game.
Yeah. And see, and this is the part of the NFL to me. It's kind of like what we were discussing earlier about this weird way of selecting teams for the college playoffs. When you say you have to lose and be the worst you can to get the best pick, that is ridiculous. This is why like I said before, they need to be going to a lottery so they can just play these games. Because I would be tempted to tank if I knew it was a difference in between me getting a Caleb Williams or a Drake May or a Jay Daniel. It's only so many slots right there up at the top, only so many players. Hey, drunk Skip Bayless, what do you say?
Hey, in the immortal words of Chris Berman, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Before last week, before they went and literally just pantsed the Cowboys, which, by the way, by every metric is a damn good football team. Just pantsed the Cowboys. They had a 50% chance for the playoffs. Now it's up to 70. So, I can't count them out because Josh Allen is a dog.
Yeah.
He's got some talent around him. If that defense will pick it up, you can't ever count that team out, man. It's hard for me to think they're not going to make the playoffs. Now, again, like we talked about earlier, are they going to get hot and make a run? That's who knows. But I don't think they're out of the playoffs. It's hard for me to pick against them. It's odd you were talking about Belichick, Coach. I'm going to go super conspiracy theory on you now. And Barry, you talked about I think that the draft system in the NFL is perfect because it causes parity in the leagues. That's why you don't see a bunch of blowouts. That's the whole point in all that system is to keep the parity. What you talked about is, do the coaches and the general manager want to lose the game? Sometimes I'm sure they do, but then players don't because they got bonuses tied in. They ain't trying to lose shit. Excuse my French.
Yeah, but you can, but you got to think about it like this. I can give you that little bonus and make that back real quick when I start winning them games next year.
Some of them ain't little bonuses. Some of them are big bonuses, like multi-million-dollar bonuses for number of tackles and numbers of yards. And I mean, these games matter to these guys that are especially when they have a down year. But to go super,
when they get fined in the year for $50,000,
right. I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on here and go deep conspiracy theory on you. If you want to really talk about Belichick being Belichick, this would be the most Belichick thing in the world to do. Is Aaron Rodgers just got moved off the injured reserve list on the active roster list. The last game of the year is the Patriots and the Jets. How cool would it be for Aaron Rodgers to play that game just to put his middle finger up to the whole world and say, I can recover from the Achilles tendon injury in 9 months. Y'all don't know what you're talking about, or 3 months instead of a year. And Bill Belichick to put his finger to Robert Kraft and say, we ain't gonna blitz you all night long, buddy. We're gonna play cover 2. Have a good game to get that draft pick. Now, I don't think that's gonna happen, but I can see Belichick pulling something off like that.
I can tell you that's great, Craig, and I can tell you right now, nobody's gonna see Aaron Rodgers this year.
No, I don't think so either.
You're not gonna take Aaron Rodgers out there with a team that's got a 5-9 record and go out there and he gets hurt. No matter he think he can recover fast, he gets hurt. Oh, somebody's getting fired.
Why did they move him off the injured reserve? It's just weird. The timing of that was weird.
Smoke screen, man. This is all you gotta remember.
It's the Jets.
You gotta remember this is you gotta remember this stuff is football is as much as about entertainment than anything else.
Yeah,
man.
true.
They just want to throw something out there so we can talk about it on the chopping block. What do you say, Digo?
Yeah, you're right. And y'all be easy on my team now. Damn. I had to endure that for a whole, 8 minutes, but it is what it is. We are trash. But I actually said, a couple weeks ago, it would benefit us the most to tank, and that was weeks ago. Really tank, and I mean like 1942 German tank. So on the Bills, I just saw this, and this is crazy. Okay, 2 weeks ago, they were the 13th seed in the NFL or in the AFL or AFC. They are now, I think it's 9th, right? Well, they are 2 games back from 3rd place.
Mm-hmm.
So if they win out, and like the teams in front of them, they're all tied at 8 and 6, and then a couple at 9 and 5. Like it is very possible for them to be the 3rd seed. What I think is going to happen, there's a lot of games. I hope that we can go over some matchups this weekend because there are some big divisional matchups that are make it or break it for teams, and including teams that 2-3 weeks ago we were talking about they could be the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. So I think the Bills will be in the playoffs. They are looking better and better. And like I said, they are 2 games back at 3rd place. Could you imagine going from 13th to 3rd in a matter of it would take them 5 weeks?
Okay. Remember we had a situation come up. It might have been last week, and we was talking about it. I think it might have been you, Digo, that was talking about why would a team in a division that had a weak division still have to get home field advantage over a team that had a better record. Remember that? Now we have a situation to where you can, because of your division, you can escalate all the way up to the 3rd seed, which is what you're talking about. So those divisions are some little weird that configuration is kind of weird.
Well, I think it's the state of the AFC too. If you think about it, all these.
But the only way they can be the 3rd seed if they win right if they win their division.
Well, I mean, it basically comes down to the last 3 games, but
they would have to win the division, though, right?
Yeah, for the 3 seed, yeah.
Or to get the 3 seed. Yeah, they do.
No, the Dolphins would be the number 1 seed.
But you can't be the 3rd seed.
No, because the top 4 teams are the division winners.
The division winners.
Top 4 teams are the division winner, but they can do it. But they got to win.
But they'd be the number 1 wild card.
Record.
Yeah, so they'd be 5th.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm talking about is they would have a top 3 record. Because what I'm looking at is literally in record format, not necessarily division, like how they'll seed. But they are. I mean, they're 2 games back of having the 3rd best record.
Could they host the playoff game?
Yeah,
they would host a wild card.
They will host a wild card.
nobody's wanting to go to Buffalo in January and play the Bills. I can promise you that.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Like I said, man,
They're dangerous.
And you cooking Dalton, because I left this out, that slide out for the games, but I think what I was going to do is pull it in as a share screen so that we can look at those matchups, because you're right, man. The way when Kraft, when they designed these new schedules over the last couple of years, 2-3 years, they made it division heavy at the bottom, and it's the best football because you don't know what's going to happen because of those games. Havoc, did I get you on this one?
No.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm gonna say the Bills are gonna make the playoffs. Since Josh Allen's been there, I'm pretty sure he's been there every year. This year, Josh Allen's got 37 total touchdowns, 26 passing touchdowns, 11 rushing touchdowns. And then I had to suffer through James Cook as a Cowboys fan this past Sunday, and we didn't have an answer for him. I mean, to me, and there's more on James Cook later, but he looks like Chris Johnson to me, the old Tennessee Titan running back. He reminds me a lot of Chris Johnson. Both guys are around.
You know what? That's a great comparison, man. I remember him, man. He was
He's
bad
just a little
boy,
bit bigger than Chris.
Yes.
He is exact.
but very fast and elusive. Got a really quick startup.
Yeah, I mean that's what I see when I watch James Cook. And then if you factor him into the offense with Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, and then the two tight ends, Kincaid and Dalton Knox, I mean, this offense, it's going to be hard to stop in the playoffs. And then keep in mind, we have a lot of quarterbacks that don't play as well in the cold weather in the playoffs. Josh Allen's not one of them. Josh Allen can play under any weather condition without it affecting his ability to make any throw. But for this question, I'm going to say the Bills are going to be in the playoffs.
Is it safe to say that we're in love with the Bills again? And that's mostly tied to the fact that Allen is not turning over the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You understand, when Allen does not turn over the balls, the Bills win.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And guys, one last thing on this slide right here for me, man, is I don't know if y'all feel the same way I do, but when I see Josh Allen play football, it's like euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is so freaking amazing. He is a beast, man. He smiles. He tries to kill you. He has that killer in his eyes. I literally believe that Josh Allen will kill to win a football game.
Yeah,
That's what I feel when I see Josh Allen play football. So I hope he's in. I really do hope he makes the playoffs. I don't know that he will. Because like I said, man, you got these division heavy. It's a lot of stuff going on at the bottom. We'll get into it. I don't know that he will. It might be too little, too late. Oh, look at here.
Oh, there we go.
Uh-oh.
It's time for Coach and the Dumpster Juice, the Christmas edition. The Grinch, stink, stunk. Let's go, Coach.
All right. Well, we were just talking about Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, and I kind of threw in that the Patriots could be a spoiler, but I'm going to tell you right now, no, they won't. And the reason why they won't be is because they'll be in the back of a truck, because you boys won 4 ball games this year so far, right? What's going on there?
3.
When you 3 ball games makes it even worse. So, it's terrible what's going on there. And not only that, you're going to fire Bill Belichick at the end of the season. So I'm here to collect a whole bunch of bills, and y'all better bail me a check when it's all over and said done with for my gas to come all the way to New England. But right now, you Patriots, you boys are straight trash. Now, we're going to go to Arizona for this edition. And I'm going to go ahead and tell the Arizona Cardinals front office, you better go and get Mr. Rourke for a quarterback, because Tattoo ain't cutting it. You're not going to get anywhere with the little man running around. Sorry. You need to switch it up. You should have kept Josh Dobbs and let him compete and make the quarterback want to try to come out there on the field instead of just giving him the little binky and getting Josh Allen out of town and letting him go to Minnesota to win ball games that he could have been doing for you guys. So the Arizona Cardinals, in my Christmas edition, I'm telling you right now, you boys are straight trash. Now, it gets no trashier than this. You Carolina Panthers. I don't care what nobody say about you. Your boys are garbage. Point blank, period. You're in the worst division there is in the NFL with the biggest superstar coming out of college, and you win less ball games with the superstar and get rid of the guy who won twice as many games as he won last year. So when I talk about trash being in the bottom of the dumpster, Carolina, you boys are that straight trash. But the trash don't end there. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, mommies, if you're riding down the road and you got your kid in the car and the kid's still on the bottle, if you happen to see my truck parked beside you, be sure to tell that baby that's not milk dripping out the bottom of the truck. What is it dripping out of the bottom of the truck? It's them dadgum Atlanta Falcons. Because y'all got beat by the trash. So if you get beat by the trash, that means you the juice in the bottom of the dumpster. And went out there, got straight manhandled in the worst division there is in football. But this is the one thing I can't understand about the Atlanta Falcons being straight trash before I park this truck, is if you take the SEC and you draw a circle from school to school, Atlanta, you're the only major city with an NFL football team that's sitting dead in the center. And y'all boys are nothing but straight trash.
Coach, this is supposed to be Christmas, man.
And I gave out all these stinking gifts.
Whoa. It's time to wreak a little havoc. Man, Santa Claus is Jack, and he better not be wearing that outfit when he comes down my camera. There's going to be some problems. Who's wreaking havoc?
All right, it's time for the Thoroughbred Havoc segment, Wreaking Havoc, and we'll start with defense. My defensive player wreaking havoc is going to be Bradley Chubb, defensive end of the Miami Dolphins. This Sunday, Bradley recorded a team-high 7 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, had 1 fumble recovery, 2 tackles for a loss, and 3 quarterback hits against the Jets. Talk about how to fill up a stat sheet. Bradley Chubb was wreaking havoc this Sunday. And then my offensive player wreaking havoc, boy, and this one was painful to watch because I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, but it's got to be James Cook. As much as I love Josh Allen, James Cook took over the whole ball game, had 25 carries for 179 yards and 1 touchdown, not to mention all the passes he was catching, and he did a good job in pass protection. My offensive player that wreaked havoc is James Cook, running back for the Buffalo Bills.
And boy, you ain't lying. Because when I saw that kid running the ball, I was like, oh my God, this guy is going to be a serious problem. People better be hoping and praying that the Buffalo Bills do not get into the playoffs, because that's going to be a scary situation. Let's get into the juice. Who's going to be home alone for the playoffs? And you guys was all over this, and y'all was ready to start cooking on this. We'll fire up the stoves. Here's the current look in the AFC and the NFC seeding 7-1. And as you can see right there on it, do we think that this right here is going to hold true? What do we think is going to happen? I have a screen that I can bring up for any questions that we need to help us with this. want to go ahead and use this segment also to look at the matchups, the key matchups, which is almost every single game. Dalton just brought up a point that the Bills can wind up with the third best record in the AFC, and right now I think you said they're in the 13th. Did you say they were in the 13th? The 13th record is what you said right now. So, guys, let's get into this. We're going to start at the top with you, Digo. What do you think about? Let's look at the AFC first. What's happening?
Well, yeah, they were 2 weeks ago. They were the 13th best record.
Okay,
and now they are the 9th. But so you know what's funny? I'm looking at this in the AFC. I see 3 teams. Realistically, I think there's 4 teams that are a lock in my eyes. That's the Ravens, Dolphins, Chiefs, Jaguars. But the ones you got to look out for, I wouldn't be shocked to see 7, 6, and 5, all 3 of these teams be out. And I think who could be in is Buffalo, Houston, and I'm kind of tied. I think either Cincinnati will stay, or you'll have Denver sneak in there at the very end.
now you got to remember something. Now you got to remember that the Houston Texans are 8-6.
That's right. All those teams are 8-6.
That means that they can knock the Jags out.
Yeah, they could.
They
That's
can
the thing.
still,
The
they can
Chiefs
still-
could be knocked out.
yeah, they can still win as a division. So these Jags, so Habits Jaguars are not a lock. I know you don't like to hear that, Habit. Speak your piece.
I couldn't agree more. Trevor Lawrence was diagnosed with a concussion. The Jags signed a third-string quarterback earlier in the week, so pretty sure Trevor Lawrence won't play this weekend. So that would be another L, bringing them to 8-7. I just don't see it happening for my Jags this year. It seems like it's been a series of unfortunate events, bad injury after bad injury, and then finding out Trevor had a concussion. It just seems like it's not going to be their year, and I would leave my Jaguars off for the AFC.
Okay, those the remaining schedule is going to be the Browns and the Titans for Houston. So that right there could be tricky, dude. You know,
They might not beat the Browns. The Browns have been I don't know what it is with the Browns. With Joe Flacco, they're winning ball games.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we don't really, this thing is very good right now. We don't know what's going to happen. But let me tell you right now, if I had $1 million to bet, I would bet that the Prince would be on the field just like he had his high ankle sprain, and he was going to be out, and he came back. Watch the Prince play. Go ahead.
Barry, my only thing to that is, why would they sign a third-string quarterback then? He didn't have one.
Smoke screen. Listen, man, you're not going to keep the Prince out of that game. Okay? Because that means if you don't play him, you are conceding your season.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Trevor Lawrence will play in that football game.
Well, I hope you're right, Barry. I hope so.
What do you say, Coach?
Who does the Browns and the Bengals? Do either one of them face each other before the season's over with?
I'll let you know, but it's probably more than likely they will, because
you got 3 AFC North teams in it, in the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Browns, and Pittsburgh, just was hanging around.
right. So let me let you know. The Bengals. Let's look at the Browns schedule. And what we have here, the remaining games for the Browns are the Texans. We just saw the Texans and the Jets. You can lose both of those games.
Well, one reason why I don't see the Bengals being there is because right now they're both down for them in Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. So the Bengals are going to be on the struggle end. I don't see them getting there, which is the slot that
the Bengals has the Steelers and the Chiefs to end the season.
Without them two guys, maybe.
Yes.
So I look at the Bengals as getting bounced. The team that jumps in there is going to be the Buffalo Bills. Because just like Dalton said, they'll have the third best record in the league. And between the Browns and the Bengals has got the biggest shot to get bounced because the Browns and Joe Flacco right now are actually playing some real good football.
True.
What's going to be the actual thing to look for is what's going to really happen with these Colts. You know, how serious are they going to be in these last few ball games to try to stay there?
Yeah.
So right now, I look at the AFC picture pretty much being the same, except I see the Browns moving up and the Bills moving in.
Man, that's gonna be exciting. What say you, Skip?
I got the Jags out. Their schedule doesn't add up. You were right about being pageantry for the NFL, but once you get in kind of concussion protocol, that's kind of out of the. I mean, it is what it is. You go strictly by the doctors at that point now.
Yeah, but what is it now? Was he so? But that doesn't mean he can't play this week, though, right? Just
It
because
does not mean he can't play, but it means there's no outside forces that are making decisions about that.
Oh, right,
Allegedly, reportedly.
right.
Mm-hmm.
You know how that goes. I mean, is that true or not? I don't know. You know, there's a lot of money on the line, and they play the Bucks coming up. You know, Sunday, which I think they probably lose that game anyways. The way Baker Mayfield's playing.
Yeah.
And then they play the lowly Panthers, and then they play the Titans, but they play the Titans at home. That's one of them weird, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, I got Derrick Henry's jersey on, which is kind of blaspheme for me to put ex-Alabama player's jersey on. But I do like a man who's my size that plays tailback. Anybody that's 6'4", 270 that plays tailback, I got to root for that guy. So I like Derrick Henry. But I think Levis is a dog. I think the Titans' schedule or their record does not indicate. I don't think they're a playoff team by any stretch of the imagination, but their record does not match their performance.
They can definitely score something.
They've had some real costly turnovers from a rookie quarterback that's getting his first comeuppance. Rookies play better at home. I think that's a tough out for Jacksonville. So, I mean, you got Jacksonville possibly losing 2 out of the next 3. They're out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If they lay an egg 2 out of the next 3, I'm going what I said before. The Bills are in. Bills are going to win out. They're going to be in there, and they're going to be on a run when they get in there too, which is going to be ugly for everybody else.
I'm here for all of that smoke. Havoc, talk to me about the NFC.
NFC. I can see the Vikings losing out. Maybe the Seahawks sneaking in. The Rams, I think the Rams are scary. That offense, Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, that's not an offense that's easy to defend. And Puka Nacua is a 5th-round rookie, over 1,000 yards. Watch out for the Rams. But, yeah, I don't think the Vikings are going to hold up. They benched Joshua Dobbs. They're playing Nick Mullins now. Yeah, I don't see how they get in.
So you're taking the Vikings out.
Yeah.
Let's see who's in the hunt. Like you said, the Seahawks. I was going to say that the Seahawks is kind of. I mean, I just don't know what they are from a quarterback standpoint.
Well, Geno got injured. Drew Lock had to play.
Yeah, Drew Lock is playing, so that's going to be interesting.
He's dropping dimes like he did Sunday. I know what they are. They're tough.
Yeah, and Geno is on the bench. You know, so remember too that you got the Seattle Seahawks, the Saints, and them Dirty Birds still lurking. You know, who knows? Coach,
gets beat right now.
Winner, man.
what do you say, Coach?
Well, I kind of agree with Havoc on it. I think the Vikings end up getting bounced out of that spot. Rams, you know, look out for them. And for the first time in a long time, the Cowboys won't lose in the first round of the playoffs, only because they'll have a bye.
We them boys, coach. We them boys.
but I think everything else is going to add up. The only thing that's really shady or shaky or whatever is going to be what we're calling the number 4 seed in the Buccaneers, and that's
Right.
just because the NFC South is super weak. You
Mhm.
know, so I don't really see anything other than the Bucks in the South getting in or the Falcons in the South getting in. But you know, who may replace the Vikings? That's still gonna be a toss up.
Right.
But I do see, the first 4 pretty much lining up the way they are, because Baker Mayfield, he is playing some good football right now. But that's the problem with me and Baker Mayfield. He plays 2 good games, and all of a sudden he's a Hall of Famer, player of the year, walking around with the attitude that you're that way with the keys to the stadium doing your commercials. And it's like, dog, just stick to football and you'll be all right. He was the same way in Oklahoma. I hated seeing him going down the field doing his little swim or whatever. But then what happens when you face real dogs? You turn into Baker Mayfield, the one that I know. That's why I call him Baker, Faker Mayfield. Is because you don't know what you're going to get out of it.
You know,
So to me, that's the only slot that I actually say is really shaky. And like I said, as far as the Vikings go, they just gonna have to show that they can, hold point. But for the rest of them, it'll be good to have them in there. But I think all the 10-4 teams and San Francisco sitting there at 11-3, those are going to be the ones that are going to be making a final decision in the NFC when it comes down to conference championship and Super Bowl.
one thing to be on the lookout for though is the NFC East division. The Cowboys got to go to Miami this week, and then they play Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
No, no.
Those are 2 kind of games that
Yeah.
could allow the Eagles to slide back in that division. I'm not saying they will, but it's definitely a possibility. What do you think about this NFC, Craig?
I think the Eagles have a lot clearer path to make that happen than the Cowboys do. Just on strength of schedule. I mean, right? That's a nightmare.
Yeah,
Miami. Where are those games at? Barry?
that Miami game is in Miami, and the Detroit game is at home.
All right. I mean, and you got to look too. What's Detroit's playing for something that they've been. Detroit's a scary team too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hate to say that could be 2 losses, but that could be 2 losses. We talk about this, and I hear you guys talk about this every week. It's hard to win a damn NFL football game. It's hard to win, man. I mean, these teams are good. If you don't come, correct on a Sunday, you're gonna walk out with a big old L over your head.
Period.
They don't mess around. All these coaches are amazing. All the players are amazing. So, they better get the head right. That's all I got to say. Yeah, you hate to see the Cowboys falter off at the end of the year. I mean, that sounds kind of familiar, Havoc. Sorry to bring that up to you.
Well,
they tend to they get a little soft towards the end of the year and then stumble in the playoffs and then somehow get beat in the first round.
Every year.
And it probably won't be any different this year.
Maybe not.
And like you guys were saying, the Eagles actually go play the Giants, which is a trap game. You know what I'm saying?
They play the Giants twice, though, right? They play them twice.
Well, is it 2? It's just 2 games left, right?
Well, when they have a bye,
They already had a bye.
I believe there's 3 games.
there's 3 games left for them,
Why
right?
why am I seeing only 2 games? I'm seeing this is week 5. Hold on, this is week 16.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be 3 games. Yeah, like y'all said, they play them twice. They play the Giants twice, and then they got Arizona in between.
I mean, Danny Cutlet's going to have a hell of a game. And here's something else, there's a whole lot of internal stuff going on with the Eagles right now. Them boys are going to be pissed. There's some pride on the line. They got a lot of veterans on that team that ain't liking this very much. These have not been fun weeks of practice in Philadelphia. I can promise you.
Well, I like the fact that Jalen Hurts came out and pretty much said, hey, we need to play with more commitment.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say about the NFC, Dalton?
Well, the NFC, I think, is I agree with y'all. Actually, the first four, they're locks to me. I think the 49ers at 1. I think Cowboys or Eagles at 2 and 5. Lions at 3. Buccaneers at 4. Those are your locks. It comes down to the Rams, Vikings, and in my opinion, probably the Seahawks. I don't see the Saints having any hope. Green Bay, they're just hoping to be eliminated. I mean, they don't want to be in this thing. New York Giants, it would take a full-blown miracle. And if Tommy Cutlets, if he could pull that off, be the greatest American Italian story of all time.
Hey man, if they beat the Eagles twice in 3 weeks, they deserve it.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I love the story, and I think it's gonna be interesting. I mean, he's obviously going to the bench when Daniel Jones comes back, or they ship Daniel Jones and try to rock with Tommy Cutlets. That'll be a story for another day. But to me, I agree with y'all. The Vikings are done. I just do not see them having a chance to get back in this thing. I mean, I think they're going to drop their next 3. Seattle's got a real good chance. I really think they do. But tonight's going to be the telltale. I mean, it's being played as we speak. The Rams and
The Saints.
Who?
Yeah. And I didn't put my pick in.
Right here on the screen, the Rams are winning 7-0. And I wanted to bring up this schedule real quick so that we can run through this. So we got the Saints and the Rams. That's going to be decided tonight. I don't think that has a little implication. The Saints still trying to battle, and so if the Saints win that game, that could stir up something. This game right here, I don't know who's going to win this game. Who's going to win this game
Between
Bengals or the Steelers?
The Bengals.
Steelers.
We got Mason Rudolph starting for the Steelers.
I think the Bengals will win.
What happened?
Bengals then.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know. If Pittsburgh can run the ball, well, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's just too much going on in the locker room in Pittsburgh. So I don't see
I hate
it
when they run the
happening.
ball because I don't like Najee Harris.
Well, not only that, George Pickens is really getting beat up right now.
Dude,
And I don't blame him.
diva, right? He seems like a diva, don't he?
He wants a quarterback, Steve.
He wants a
I get
quarterback,
that,
but I
he's
mean,
not even his effort on the field to me seems awful.
it is awful.
It is. It's bad.
I mean, it seems like he wants to get traded. That's what that action seems.
Hey,
Well,
listen,
I don't
would
think-
you not want to get traded if you was
I
playing.
don't think it's the fact he want to get traded. I think he wants Mike Tomlin out of there.
Well, he can forget about that.
Yeah,
Now
that ain't happening.
that ain't happening.
Nope.
Not this year. Maybe
Not-
next year.
Not this year. And here we go. They 7-7, so they right on target for their yearly goal is to have a winning record. So he was right there.
This happens every year with Tomlin. It's like, oh my God, he's on the hot seat, and then he wins 3 in a row, and he ends up like 9-7.
Right. That's what he
Every
is.
year.
That's what they play for. That's their Lombardi, a winning season.
Yeah, 9 wins.
So this we're all on Bills, right? We ain't thinking that nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah,
with
Bills are
Chargers,
gonna win.
right? The Colts probably gonna win this game.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm conceding my Falcons will not win the division. I had a nice run, but Dalton and all his wisdom has returned to form, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, his beloved Baker Mayfield, has showed up and showed out. This game right here, guys, the Panthers have spent way too much time in the dumpster juice. And so we know that this. Well, you know, if they win this game, they're stupid. If it was me, I'll say, Bryce, go on vacation. We'll see you next year, and we'll have you, and we'll have you some more players because you know what's so bad about this? The Panthers, the Bears own the Panthers' first pick.
Mhm.
They need to get Bryce. They need to get Bryce some creatine and some platform shoes.
They did get some-
That's what Bryce needs.
Okay, and then we have the Browns Texans guys. This is a huge game.
Yeah.
This is a huge.
Could be the biggest game of the weekend.
But no CJ Stroud.
Is
Yeah,
CJ out the game? Hold on.
he's out.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's out.
He out
Wow.
Yeah.
for the season?
Not for the season, but he's out this week.
No. Yeah. This
Well,
week.
this is their season, so he's out. I mean,
Yeah.
He in concussion protocol.
man, that
Wow.
sucks. So that hurts. That we were going to see a good ball game on that
Dang,
one.
who's their backup?
Davis Mills.
Who is
He's
that?
pretty good.
He
He's
was
a good
all right
backup.
last year.
That tells you all you need to know right there, man.
He's a good backup. I mean, we're not supposed to be experts on backup quarterbacks, guys.
Yes, we are.
No, but I agree with you, Havoc. He was talented last year. He did pretty well.
Well, hey, he'll have an opportunity this week. Lions Vikings. I don't know who's going to win that game because I
If the
still.
Lions win, the
Lions.
Vikings are realistically out.
No, out,
Oh,
man.
be the
yeah,
Lions.
100%. But will they lose? Because them Lions, man, sometimes they are Cubs. They're not Lions. I don't even know what's going to happen in this game. The Jets might do one of them things they've been doing and mess around and win this game. Who knows?
I think they're going to win.
You know,
Yeah.
one of those sporadic Zach Wilson showings.
They're favorite because it's in New York. That's the only reason.
Look at that, 4-10 and 5-9. What a game! Okay, this game here is a trap game. Seattle Seahawks and the Titans. Okay,
Yeah,
Titans
yeah.
don't have anything to play for but to improve
Hey,
their
Drew
draft
Lock
stock.
is the reason why Geno finna sit on the bench. He gonna have a good game.
Yeah, Seahawks
Man,
going to win this one.
but you got to remember, man, them Titans, man, they can spoil a party.
So
They
I got the
can,
Titans
but
on
they're
that one at
already
home.
eliminated. I mean, it wouldn't benefit them to win. I think they're going to lose.
I like the Titans at home.
You like
Really?
Okay.
Titans at home.
Wow.
I look, man. It's Drew Lock. We don't know what Drew. He might lock somebody down, or he might get locked. Who
Well,
But
knows?
it's also Levis too. You got to keep in mind he's a little bit dog now.
So, hey,
Yeah.
Titans
in
can
the
run the
battle,
ball at home. For
That's
some reason,
true. That's
in
for
the
true.
some
Battle
reason
of
the Titans
Florida.
can run at home. They can't run on the road, but they can run it at home. And if you get this guy right here running, then you got D Hop in single coverage, and I could throw touchdowns to that dude in single
I'm
coverage.
telling you, dude. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm starting. I might change my pick to the Titans.
You only listen to Craig because he winning the pick'ems right now.
I'm telling you, that's my reason behind that one. That's and I want to say the spread was only like 3 points.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be a close game, man.
It was a close spread.
You know, I'm telling you, man, that game is gonna be interesting. Oh, the Jags and the Bucks. This is gonna be a killer game. What if the Jags go in and tap them Bucks, man?
hey,
We're gonna
so
run the
Barry,
Sunshine State.
And yeah, the Battle of Florida. What I think about this game, and you can look at my picks to verify it. I don't hate me on Sunday night when this score comes around and you look at it and you say, "Wow, Digo was right. The Buccaneers will win this game."
We're gonna see.
The Jaguars are reeling a little bit. Trevor Lawrence probably is not going to play. Baker Mayfield's been hot. The Jaguars defense has been a little shaky. I think what's going to happen here is, believe it or not, just like last year, it's going to come down to the last 2 weeks in the AFC South between the Jaguars, the Colts, and the Texans this year. And all teams are probably going to be knotted up with the same record. It's going to be must-see TV. Y'all know I talked about it 3 weeks before the Pac-12 championship, what I wanted to happen for football, having the Heisman Trophy come down to this and that, and it didn't really happen to the Heisman Trophy, but it didn't matter about the playoff. So I'm going to speak it into existence right here. that AFC South, because of this Buccaneers win on Sunday, is going to be knocked in, tied up with 2 games to go. And, man, it's going to be must-see TV.
And if that happens, you know that the Jags are probably having a divisional game, that last game of the season.
They do. They do.
So that's going to be if the Bucs win this game, it's going to get real interesting in the AFC South. Guys, we're going to say I think the Bears is going to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
What do y'all think?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yep, I got the Bears.
Now, what are y'all going to do?
It's going to be Justin Fields' interview for the Falcons. Is that game?
You could
Probably
be
right.
Coach.
Probably right. Cowboys, Dolphins.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
You want to know who I
would say
got?
Cowboys,
The
but I like the
Cowboys.
fish.
I got them boys going down south. They're a little
I like
pissed. They
that.
just got embarrassed.
I like the
We got
Dolphins.
Tyreek out, and I know all the Bammers on here talk about
That's
how great
right.
he is with all his what. That's a bunch of bull crap. If Tyreek's off the field, they're at a disadvantage. Period.
Tyreek's out this week, ain't he?
Yep,
Let
Say
me
what?
check
Again?
that pick.
What happened?
he's
Yeah,
out.
he out.
Tyreek is not out, is he?
He's
Yeah.
out. He ain't playing this
Man,
week.
dude, I wanted to see him break the record.
Ooh.
Let me change that pick.
Yeah.
I gotta stop telling y'all all this stuff now.
Hey, I picked the Cowboys.
Appreciate that.
I somewhat tend to believe the Cowboys are already just the better team.
Yeah, I'm with you. on
The
that.
Dolphins have not had one win against a really good opponent all year, if you think about it.
They
So-
only had one win, I think, against a above 500 team, but it wasn't a. I mean, they did beat
They
somebody.
beat Denver. Remember, they scored 70 on Denver?
Yeah,
Mhm.
but Denver wasn't a winning team at the time,
No, not at the time.
right? So yeah, I don't know what I just did. I forgot I had this up. So and then we got the Patriots Broncos. Does anybody care?
No,
Broncos.
I think the
Broncos. I picked the Broncos to win.
Now, if the Patriots can win a game as far as somebody party, it is the Denver Broncos. It is this game right here.
I don't think so.
Because the thing about the Broncos, it kind of got like a little hex or something on them. This game right here will have another fight going on the sideline between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. And
I'm keeping receipts on that, Barry.
I'll be back with another slide with a Grinch on it.
Wouldn't y'all love it if they got into it and all of a sudden you seen Russell Wilson ball up a snowball and hit Sean Payton in the face with it?
Or just slap him. Or just slap him.
Snowball ain't a fine.
Yeah.
What's that movie? Aim High, Willis. You better aim high, Willis.
And then we have this Raiders Chief game, which the Chiefs need every game.
Yeah, Chiefs gonna win this
Chiefs
game.
gonna win it.
Hey, listen, they better win it.
Chiefs
Got
gonna
to.
win.
It's a must win.
But
for
have
them.
you noticed that the Raiders have had like a different attitude?
Yeah, since they got rid of that coach, they're playing a lot better. But
Yeah.
they're just like on paper, that's a nightmare.
It is.
First of all, going to Arrowhead, it's gonna be cold.
Yeah.
And you know, you can talk about that all you want to. You get used to playing in a dome, and you have to travel to Arrowhead or Buffalo, especially in December and January.
Out of
it's
Vegas.
different.
Well, I can tell you
Yeah.
right now, man, it's not a lot like it usually is with the Chiefs. Chiefs are not the Chiefs. Chiefs are not chiefing.
Yeah, well, Vegas don't have to win that game. The Chiefs do.
Yes, that's true. Here we go.
Yeah.
We got the Eagles Giants. Is that a trap game or is that just?
It's the biggest trap game of the week, but I think what you'll see in this game, the Giants will contend. And I just forgot until I saw something came to my mind. It was a newspaper I was checking out at the grocery store, and it had Tommy Cutlets laid out on the field because he got knocked out last week, so he might not even play this week. I
he
forgot.
got knocked out.
Oh yeah, he got knocked out. And it said, like the whole Italian thing about getting, the mob whacking somebody. The caption of the newspaper said whacked. And man, I thought that was
No, they
hilarious.
didn't. They didn't do
I
that.
swear to God, it was hilarious.
How is that culturally appropriate?
Exactly. I thought that was too shade of the newspaper for going out and doing that.
That's
But
awesome.
the whole story about Tommy Cutlet's been great. but the Eagles are going to win this game regardless of who the quarterback is. I think this is going to be an ugly game. They're going to win by 17, late touchdown, pulling the 17 at the end.
I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a game where the Eagles going to blow them out because the
Blow
Eagles
'em out.
need
It's
to
got-
blow out win.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's got to be a statement game.
Yeah, they got to make a statement in this divisional game because it haven't they lost the last 3 in a row.
Lost 3 in a row.
3 in a row, guys. Hey, guys, I don't have to say nothing about this Super Bowl preview, right? 11-3, Baltimore Ravens, San Francisco 49ers 11-3. This couldn't be a better Monday Night Football game.
Agreed.
You understand what I'm saying? This game right here is, this is a Christmas present. Look at it. It's on Christmas.
So
It's
Christmas.
a damn
my-
Christmas special.
It's a Christmas miracle, Barry. It's a Christmas miracle.
The only thing that would have made it better if the game was one of the first games. We got to wait all Christmas all night for this game. But you know what, man? Who do y'all got?
Well, honestly, I'll say the 49ers. But we all know that if it end up being the 49ers winning this ball game, it makes it even harder for the 49ers to win the Super Bowl if they face them again. Because it's hard to beat a team twice in the NFL, especially when you're as talented as both squads. You know, San Francisco has got a defense that can get after the quarterback, but Baltimore's got a quarterback that can get away from the defense. And then you turn around and you look at Baltimore's defense and San Francisco's offense. You got a great offense versus a great defense. So this is going to be the premier game to watch. And actually, I think after this ball game, we already know the 49ers has got first place sold up. So the Ravens, if they win this ball game, they got first place sold up. So, like you said, we're actually looking at a preview of the Super Bowl.
Well, I can tell you, I'm looking forward to that, bad guy. I want to do one more thing with you guys before we get off of here. And where are you? We're going to add this guy to the stage, and we're going to go from the top. And everybody's going to give me their favorite Christmas movie of all time. Start with you, Digo.
Well, hey, before the Christmas movie, I actually wanted to throw something in on that last game.
Okay. Hold on,
This is
get back to that slide, wait.
This is the great Monday Night Football game, the Christmas special. And I'll tell you, I'm going to shock a lot of people here. I think the most underappreciated team this whole entire year has been the Baltimore Ravens. And the thing about the Baltimore Ravens, I don't understand how you could be a 3-loss team and everybody just acts like you're not that good or you're not going to be a real playoff contender. You're the number 1 overall seed in the conference. I think this is going to be a statement win by the Baltimore Ravens over the 49ers. And I think it's going to shock a lot of people on Tuesday morning when you wake up. But I just think that Lamar Jackson has that statement game. And this might even be the MVP game for him.
Wow, that would be crazy.
But I'll let you go back to the other side.
I do agree with you that it appears that this team is the most underappreciated. I still think is the Jackson thing, man. I think people still don't want to believe that Jackson is good enough to get it down. I think that's where we are. So we got Tony. Tony, buddy, you coming in at the last of this. If you want to do this, you can, but we're going to start at the top, and we're all giving our favorite Christmas movie of all time. Go, Digo.
Man, this is a tough one. I have to give you
Okay.
Christmas movie. Can I give you two? I got to give you two.
All right.
I'm going to give you two, as in one comedy and one kind of like action drama. Let's just say action drama. So one in the comedy version for this one is definitely Elf. I mean, Will Ferrell and Elf. That is the funniest movie you could ever lay eyes on. Like, it's crazy. I want to watch it before the holiday ends, but the action drama. Now, I don't know the name on this one. I could be wrong, but I think it's called Miracle on 3rd Street. Is that the one with Arnold in it?
Oh, Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah, what's it called? Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
Maybe I had the bootleg copy and they left the fourth out. Hey, that's Florida and Polk County for us. But I don't know what the movie damn was called, but it was a good movie.
Oh, Havoc, what you got on this Christmas movie?
Man, I gotta go with Elf. I'm even wearing the Elf pajamas, but they're like my go-to pajamas. But yeah, Elf. I'm a big Will Ferrell guy, so that's my Christmas movie.
I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm gonna see if my wife want to watch that in a little bit because I don't think I've ever seen Elf.
It's pretty good, man. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
You've
I've
never
ever
seen
seen.
That's a you deserve coal in your stocking for that.
Exactly.
Coach, what you got?
Well, I'm old school with it.
Keep it in the kitchen.
So my Christmas movies carry a little bit of life meaning to it.
All right.
And Frosty the Snowman was one of them. Only because every time Frosty melted and then they put him back together, what was his first words in a Christmas movie? Not Merry Christmas, but Happy Birthday. He's doing it again. But my other favorite movie that just puts everything in perspective when it comes to sports and life is Rudolph. The reason why I like Rudolph so much is everybody's got something to say about you when you're a little bit different. Until they realize that they can't do Jack Diddley without you. Everybody loves you.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that Rudolph taught me is you're going to have everybody out here trying to talk about you, trying to bring you down, trying to look at everything that they can find bad about you until the day they realize that you benefit them, then you can let your nose shine so bright.
And that's the day that I'm just gonna cut my nose off. What you got, Craig?
Hey, I'm gonna take y'all all the way back to Christmas Eve in 1988 when John McClane saved Nakatomi Towers from Hans Gruber. It's Die Hard, baby. That one always gets me going.
Oh, okay, that's a Die Hard Christmas movie. And that's
Oh my God, you ever seen Die Hard? Man,
No,
Die
I know what Die Hard is, but I thought when you talk about a Christmas movie.
yeah, that's a Christmas movie. It happens at Christmas time. It's a Christmas party. Dude, every time I see that on cable, I think it's Christmas time. They only play it around December.
That's Bruce Willis, right?
Yeah. John McClane, baby.
I'm gonna have to check that one out. You got another one?
That's the one. That one and Elf is another one that I really like. Elf is pretty good.
Okay, I'm watching.
You got to check that one out.
I'm watching.
Now you can't let Friday, next Friday, you can't let it get out the picture. You gotta have that one in there.
Next Friday, okay. What you say, Two Turk?
Dude, first off, I want to say only Coach Price could take two of the goofiest movies and relate it to football perfectly.
Right, exactly.
Second, dude, I'm with everybody else. Elf is by far. I actually want to drive to your house and slap you for not watching Elf. Like, that really hurts my heart that you hadn't seen that Will Ferrell movie. But second, I will fight anyone over this. A Nightmare Before Christmas is my second favorite Christmas movie. It is a Christmas movie. It's a Christmas and a Halloween movie. And if you don't like it, then I don't care.
That is good. That is a real good movie. And I want to just kind of go over some things real quick. What you said, Coach, that Frosty the Snowman and that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you can tell we're in the same age group. Let me tell you something. every year when we knew that those movies, because they used to play them at the same time, seemed like every year or like
Every
CBS
year.
or something. And when those came on, you never seen Happier Kids just to see the magic of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all mine. I think I really got too many, so I'm just gonna run through something real quick. I think every year, I'm gonna just say the first movie I watched this year was The Cranks. I love Christmas with the Cranks. I read the book about skipping Christmas written by John Grisham. It's a phenomenal story. I love that one. Now, a funny, I think like it's really too many of them, but I have to watch Home Alone number 1 and 2. I talked to Dalton about this, and I told him that 3 and 4 is for the door because they don't have Joe Burrow in it. Okay, but I will tell you, you'll be proud of me, Dalton, that I watched Home Alone number 3 last week, and it is fire. And I love the kid, and I love the little plot of the little technology, the little super Russian chip. So that really was good. I haven't watched 4 yet, and I think 4 might have a girl in it, right?
I don't know if I've seen 4, so I didn't even know there was a 4.
I think I've seen
Yeah.
4.
So, but I want to make the a mention of this movie right here. It's a Wonderful Life. That movie right there, it just spells out Christmas and life. I know everybody has seen It's a Wonderful Life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Craig, you seen it?
I've seen It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay, that's
That's the Moonberry.
yeah, that's a good one right there. So, fellas, man, look, man, it's been a great year. I think that this is pretty much the last show of the year, and we ended it with drunk Skip Bayless, my main man. Auburn came in, and then Tony at the last minute to do an NFL show with us. Like I said, man, we got some great football coming up. I want to wish you guys and your families a Merry Christmas. I already paid my debts to Two Turn, and he'll be buying the kids maybe a Christmas present with money that I lost betting on stupid Zach Wilson. But we won't talk about that too much. I'll never bet on Zach Wilson again in my life, just on principle. I just sometimes you just get way too wound up and you lose money and you contribute to the choke charities. Take us out, Dalton.
Hey, this has been the Chop and Block Podcast, the NFL show this week, hosted by Beast of Kane. The lineup tonight was your host, Beast of Kane, the Thoroughbred Havoc, Coach Price, Drunk Skip Bayless, and for just a little while, Two Turn Tony himself. But we thank you for joining us. Join us next year.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, we
Merry
got